Yes, perfect.
Well, thank you very much. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jose Raul Gonzalez. I am the CEO of Progreso, a leading building materials company in Central America. Thank you very much for logging in. I think I know what you're thinking. What could you possibly learn from the CEO of a tiny company from Guatemala? This is where my country is. We are 10,000 kilometers away from Germany. Germany is 3 times the size of Guatemala. The German economy is 32 times the economy of Guatemala. And Germany has 5 times the population of Guatemala. The truth is that I have no new technical expertise to share with you today. You are the experts in industrial processes.
You just translated the same skill.
I am not even an engineer. I am just a person who has a story to tell you. A story that I hope will give you a fresh perspective on your business, your personal success, and a new commitment towards the Vision Zero aspiration. My company operates out of Guatemala with operations in 4 countries: Honduras, Panama, Belize, and Colombia. We were founded in 1899 by this man, Carlos Novella, the son of Italian and German immigrants who came to Guatemala looking for a better future. It is hard to believe, but in those days, people came to America from Europe looking for prosperity. Mr. Novella was a visionary, and after studying engineering in Belgium, he came back to his country to establish the 3rd cement factory of the whole continent, and today, its oldest. But his vision went beyond the business aspect. He had also a vision of well-being for his workers, and from the beginning, before there was any labor, safety, or environmental regulation, he made sure that well-being was at the forefront of all his operations. So you could say that this concept has always been part of the DNA of our organization. In Guatemala, we operate 2 cement plants, 17 concrete plants, 1 quick lime operation, 1 paper bag plant, and 12 aggregate plants. Overall, there are more than 3,000 employees in our industrial operations, and this is where my journey begins. I joined the company in 2010 as the Chief Financial Officer and became the CEO in 2012. As I mentioned, Progreso had already developed a strong prevention and well-being culture, but still, putting the former CFO in charge of the company was a source of concern for Dr. Roberto Hermosilla. Dr. Hermosilla was and still is the head of OH&S in Progreso. Coming from a finance background, he probably had his doubts about me. Would the CEO start cutting costs in the prevention area? This is a picture of me at the left and Dr. Roberto Hermosilla on the right. I consider him not only my mentor, but also my personal hero for the commitment and discipline that he represents in the well-being of all of the Progreso family. So Dr. Hermosilla asked to meet with me as soon as I became the CEO. It was a very interesting conversation regarding my future, my personal reputation, and my career in the company. In this first meeting, he asked me, Jose, as the leader and ultimate responsible for the organization, how many people would you like to see getting hurt while working in Progreso? Say, having a broken arm or suffering cuts, bruises, or burns? None, I replied. And how many persons would you like to see losing a limb while working with us during your tenure? Or being blinded in a work accident, for example? I said, none again. Okay, he replied, so how many fatalities would you like to count for? How many funerals would you like to attend during your tenure? None, I said again. Congratulations, he replied. These are your goals as far as safety and well-being is concerned in Progreso. And this is where my journey began. I call it from zero to zero, meaning that I had zero knowledge of occupational health and safety practices, and now I had assumed the aspiration of Vision Zero. Every accident is preventable, and therefore we should look for zero incidents during my tenure. This is my scorecard. This is the scorecard of our organization. We began formally measuring our OH&S record in 2000. That year, we had a score of almost 15 in the standard lost time injury frequency rate index. To give you an idea, we usually work about 14 million man-hours per person per year. Initially, we were able to drop that indicator all the way down to 2.4 in a few years. But then we decided that our influence should extend not only to the workers of Progreso, but also to the contractors and subcontractors that were either working for our plants or doing logistical work for us on the road. So the indicator went all the way up to 9 the following year. And then we started working that indicator back again. You can see these boxes which refer to names of different initiatives that we implemented along the years, pretty much in the spirit of the 7 golden rules of ISA. The first one is probably the most important, in which members of my board of directors and members of the top management perform unannounced safety evaluation visits wearing an orange helmet, meaning that everyone in the plant will easily recognize that such inspection is taking place and will understand the importance that we give to the well-being of everyone. I entered the company. We have another microphone open. Thank you. In 2012, I became the CEO and an advocate for what ISA would later call the Vision Zero. Finally, in 2016, our commitment paid. Accounting only for the direct workers of Progreso, no one got hurt that year. This indicator reflects 3 contractors that were suspended medically due to incidents. This is the year where we proudly said that Vision Zero was possible. Something that I still believe, regardless of the normal struggle to keep this indicator as low as possible. As with so many other challenges, the incorporation of new employees and new opening operations means that you cannot and should not let your guard down in order to maintain your systems under control. I entered the Vision Zero aspiration by conviction. I honestly did not know at the time how much it was going to cost in terms of money and time. All I knew was that I had the support of my board and the wise advice of Dr. Hermosillo. But in the end, doing the right thing pays. When we started measuring our levels of job satisfaction and operational efficiency, we demonstrated something that has become kind of a cliche, that safety pays. It became a chicken and egg problem. Do we have high levels of good climate labor because we care for the well-being of our employees and therefore we have few accidents? Or do we have few accidents because there is a good labor environment as measured by the Great Place to Work Institute Index? By the way, the companies in Progreso consistently rank among the best places to work in all Latin America. On the other hand, do we have high levels of operational efficiency because we have low accidents? Or do we have low accidents because we have high levels of operational efficiency in our equipment? It really doesn't matter, does it? The company is in great shape. And as long as we do not fall into complacency, we can get the best of both worlds, including, by the way, the profitability of the company. During these years, we have consistently created economic value added to our shareholders. As we say in Progreso, profit is not an objective, it is an outcome, specifically the result of practicing our corporate culture in all its aspects, including and especially in the well-being area. Of course, some things never change. There has to be a demonstrable commitment at the top of the organization in order to set the right example. This is a picture of the board of directors of Progreso and some members of its top management team during an annual ceremony. This ceremony is held once a year at different times during lunch, so as many workers as possible can see us signing the Vision Zero Pledge, meaning we mean business. I believe that this ceremony sends the right message to all the organization, and each department has its own ceremony so that everyone signs this pledge and assumes the commitment to live by our equivalent of the 7 golden rules of ISA. Symbols matter in the search of the right behaviors. So what is next in our future? We know that money can buy you so much safety. You can invest in maintenance, helmets, boots, training, but it is always the human factor which is the hardest to control. This is why we have developed what we call a perceived leadership index, an indicator that seeks to measure the example that the management sets as far as our well-being is concerned. It has to do with the behaviors that we, as leaders of the organization, display towards the rest of the team members. For example, to be authentic in the interest that you have for the well-being of the workers, to participate and interact with the people regarding safety concerns and issues, meaning that we should not avoid the topic. We should ask and let the people talk about their well-being. To recognize a job well done and celebrate it. Life is made of all those special moments in which we recognize an ordinary work done in extraordinary ways. Safety and security should never be taken for granted. To stop each and every unsafe act, regardless of the person who is about to commit it. And I have been gladly surprised when I saw a worker the other day stop a board member as he was going to make an unsafe act. At that moment, I knew we had a strong culture and congratulated him. And on the other hand, we have had in other instances to apply our consequences and disciplinary scheme when sometimes someone does not follow the safety protocols. And finally, just walk the talk. People, just as our sons and daughters, never do as they are told. They always do as they see you doing. You are the leader. You set the example. How do we face the new challenges post-COVID? Our culture has been hurt for the lack of personal interaction due to COVID restrictions. And you cannot build an effective culture via Zoom only. We believe that this is why we have had 2 years of unsatisfactory results in our indicators that seem stubbornly difficult to drop. So, 2022 is the year to relaunch our culture. We will take back a full schedule of visits to our operations with our orange helmets, and we will continue to talk in person about these important issues, especially to the newest members of our organization. So this is my journey, a journey that has given me some of the greatest professional satisfactions, to contribute to the well-being of more than 3,000 families and to see them prosper personally and professionally. Indeed, Vision Zero pays in many more ways than just money. I invite you to embrace it like I did and start enjoying these wonderful outcomes. Thank you for your attention. I have many more things to tell you, and I wish to respond to your questions in the next segment. Stay safe.
Thank you very much, Jose Raul, for this inspiring presentation. I think you embody the sentence and the slogan, "The leader is the message." So you are the message in occupational safety and health at Progreso, and congratulations for what you have achieved so far, and best of success for your coming challenges in 2022. Let me welcome now our next speaker. He is Helmut Ines from Germany. However, although he was born in Germany, during his professional career and through his efforts to sustain ISA mining and Vision Zero strategy, I think he has rightly gained his nomination as a citizen of the world. Helmut was educated at the Technical University of Munich in Germany as a mechanical engineer. For more than 35 years, he worked as a labor inspector in the Germany statutory social accident insurance for mining, quarries, and raw materials. Later, he headed the prevention department and was responsible for several innovative initiatives in safety, health, and well-being. And under his leadership, Vision Zero strategy for a prevention culture at workplaces has been formulated and implemented for mining in Germany and globally. Currently, he holds several management positions in the International Social Security Association, as chair of Vision Zero Steering Committee, as Secretary General of the Mining Section, and as a Technical Secretary of the Trade Section. Helmut, I welcome you to this summit, and you have the floor for the next 20 minutes.
Okay, you can hear me well?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very
hear you.
much for this invitation and for this introduction. I think we are very well in time, so everybody is so disciplined. That nearly never happens. Only in mining people are disciplined. And therefore, before sharing my slides with you, can I ask a question to Jose Raul Gonzalez? I think you are still there, Jose?
Yes, sir, I am here.
Yeah, great. I think you know, you are for me one of the role models I know from mining, and thank you so much that you never say no when I need you or when ISA Mining needs you. You spoke not long ago in Düsseldorf, also virtually at the big A+A trade show and conference. And I have a question to you and maybe an idea. How can we bring this message in a better, what do we have to do to get more to the boardrooms of the companies? I think we have anywhere excellent experts, but very often the door to the boardroom and to the CEO is not open. So I think we have to do it different in the future. And maybe you can tell us an idea, an answer.
Yes, of course, and thank you for the question. I had a specific journey that I just told you, because that question and answer with Dr. Hermosilla made me realize at that point the value of human life and the responsibility that we as leaders of the company have regarding the well-being of our workers. That was one aspect of the decision-making process as myself. But then it came the other aspect, which was how much productivity, how much motivation and the good labor environment we got because we started getting those good numbers as far as safety it was concerned. So it became a virtuous circle in which it was very easy for me to go up to the board of directors and tell them, you know, this thing is not only creates good environment, not only creates good productivity, not only gives the moral aspect of giving ourselves a well-being to our workers, but it is profitable. And when you have that combination, it is very hard for someone to reasonably tell you, stop what you're doing and let's check it again, you know? So I think that this combination of our moral obligation towards our workers to give them safety and well-being, about the productivity of the company and about the profitability that comes behind, I haven't found a better formula to maintain the sustainability of our company. So I think that we have to get better statistics like the ones that Dr. Mosia gave to me and I presented to you this afternoon in order to demonstrate this virtuous circle that we can create. And of course, it all boils down to the leadership and the commitment that the different leaders in the organization have, because I'm just the head of the organization. This could have not been possible only with my commitment. It has to come throughout the organization and start this culture of prevention and this belief that every accident is preventable. And with that combination, I think that there's only prosperity and well-being ahead of us.
Yeah, thank you very much. My observation is the time is good for our message. It's getting better and better because of Corona, a health issue comes much more on the agenda. The whole world is connected. We are thinking in supply chains, so we can use this business to business relations also for these messages and for a smooth production without interruption by accidents or any incidents. And I have in mind, you can answer as one at once. I think we should consider to install a CEO roundtable in the ISA mining section in the mining network. And I would like to ask you today if you say again yes and are willing to be part of this roundtable, or maybe even to guide it or to lead it. And I would also ask all participants in this summit, if you know CEOs in your country which are committed to this zero thinking, please inform us. Maybe we can form, as a result of this Vision Zero Summit, such a CEO roundtable in the next year. And of course, we have to manage to keep the workload in an acceptable level. What do you think about this proposal?
Well, Helmut, given that you have asked me these questions only in front of 155 witnesses, I gladly accept it. But let me tell you another thing.
Yeah.
Our company, as well as everybody else's companies, got hit by coronavirus very hard.
Yeah.
But the main factor that allowed us to rebound and have the resiliency that we've had in very good 2 years, 2020 and 2021, was the strong prevention culture that we had. Because someone mentioned it in the beginning, we managed the COVID risk as one more risk on the risk matrix. So the company did not fall apart. It wasn't like everybody was in panic. We said to everybody, we know how to manage these other risks. We're going to put this on top of the other ones. And we will continue the operations as normal as possible, and we will not stop the businesses, and we will keep each and every job in our industry. And we did it. And we did it because we were prepared to manage several risks, and now we only had to manage one additional risk. I think that CEOs have to understand that well-being and safety is an integral part of the productivity and the sustainability strategy with or without COVID and the newer, mutations that will come in the future. So I agree with you. I think that we should involve more of the top leadership of our companies and start getting this idea that this is a very, very, very efficient tool to improve our businesses. And if we are able to sell it that way, we will have that circle complete. And let's start this virtuous circle roll.